Hi friends, I'll be doing comparative advantage and trade. That's 1.4 of AP Microeconomics. So if you remember, I'm continuing with my unit 1 of AP Microeconomics, and today I'll be doing 1.4, which is comparative advantage and trade. All right, but before going into this, let's just look at the answers of the production possibility curve, the MCQs that I had given you in my last video. So I'll just share the answers with you for first 5 questions, right? All right. This one was the first one. Which of the following would not be a part of opportunity costs of going to college? So yes, among the options, obviously the answer would be option E. Money spent on clothes is not, a part of your opportunity cost of going to college, because whether you go or you don't go, you do spend money on clothes, right? All right, the second is the graph below shows the PPC for a country producing ice cream and frozen yogurt, and it's a straight line, right? Which statement explains why the PPC for ice cream and frozen is a straight line instead of a curve? Hope you remember this, that the answer to this is option A. The shape of the PPC signifies that the resources needed to produce the two goods are interchangeable. Had it been the different ones, had it been the shape, if the shape would have been concave shaped, then the option would have been option B. All right, but since it's a straight line, that means the resources that we use for production of the two goods are interchangeable. We can easily switch resources from the production of one good to the other good. All right. Okay, third one was flour is an ingredient used to make collages but is not used to make kuso. Which of these graphs shows what happens when the availability of flour increases? Now, collages are made up of your flour, so it's basically collages on the y-axis and QSO on the x-axis. The entire production possibility curve moving outside, that's not the correct answer, right? QSO, the production of QSO increasing and the collages is the same. That's also not the correct answer because flour is used for collages and not QSO. Right? Can you see that? Okay, option C was that you are moving from one point to the other point on the PPC curve. That's also not correct because it's only the production of collages will increase because the flour has increased, right? And so here you are actually sacrificing collages in order to produce more of QSO, so that's not an option as well. And the fourth option being that you are producing the same QSO, but yes, your collages production has increased. That's why the PPC curve has shifted only from collages side. So that's the correct option. All right, option 5 or E was that the entire PPC curve shifts inward. That's also not correct because that's basically denoting or signifying reduction in technology or reduction in resources, but here it was increase in resources, the flour, right? Okay, the graph below, that's the fourth one. The graph below represents a change in the production possibility curve for the national exam. All right, so can you see that the production of fast cars has increased and fruit smoothies, they have remained the same? So which of the following is true? Obviously it has to be option B. ZAM now has more resources or technology available to produce more fast cars but not fruit smoothies, because the production of smoothies is starting from the same point again, right? And the fifth one is the production possibility curves for JIF and META are shown here. This is what you have. One is concave and the other is a straight line. What happens to each producer's opportunity cost of fresh baked bread as more bread is produced. So since metas is the same, so yes, we rule out option A, we rule out option D, and we rule out option E. It has to be B and C, between B and C. And since Jeff's one is a concave shaped, so opportunity cost for Jeff increases and for meta stays the same. So it's option C is your correct answer. All right. I hope you understand this. And yes, just for your knowledge, I also take AP Micro and AP Macroeconomics classes, right? One-on-one basis and also in groups. So if any one of you is interested, you can please contact me. My details are there at in my account, and but yes, I'll still give you my number. It's 9818787071. So I have all the the entire curriculum. I do give MCQs, lots and lots more of MCQs. I even discuss lots of free response questions, and I also give tests. So I also have sample test of APs, right? So if any one of you are interested, you can please contact me. All right. Coming back to today's topic, which is comparative advantage and trade. So first thing first, let's just understand that why do we trade? So why trade? Why countries trade? All right. Why countries trade? Countries trade to achieve gains, basically. That's the whole purpose. So countries trade to achieve gains that international specialization makes possible. Trade basically allows each nation to concentrate on producing goods and services that it produces relatively efficiently while trading to obtain goods and services that it would produce less efficiently than others. So basically, countries try to trade and have gains from trade by exporting the goods in which they are producing the goods more efficiently and importing the goods in which they are not so efficient relatively as compared to their trading partners. All right, so that's my short form of exporting, basically. So it's if you are not able to understand, this means exporting. So basically, trade happens in order to achieve gains by countries, right? All right. Now with this trade in economics, we are associated with very two important terms. All right. The first term being absolute advantage. So two important terms, I'll write like this. So two important terms related to trade are absolute advantage and comparative advantage. Okay, let's first just understand what an absolute advantage is. All right. So absolute advantage is that when you are more productive at producing a product given the same number of inputs or equal quantity of resources. So let's say two countries, they have same number of resources or equal quantity of resources, but one is more efficient in the production of a good as compared to the other. All right, so we will do some little metrics out here in order to understand both absolute and comparative advantage. All right, let me explain you with with an example, and this is the kind of questions that come actually in APs, right? So let's say I have two producers, Tina and Tanvi, and these are the two products that they produce, cups and plates. So Tina produces 40 and 40 and Tanvi produces 10 and 30. All right. Okay. I hope you can draw the production possibility curves by now with if I've given you this matrix that if Tina is the producer and 40 cups, 40 plates, how would you draw that? Okay. I'll give you 5 seconds to think about it. Let's say I have plates on my x-axis and I have cups on my y-axis, right? Tina is producing 40 cups, and okay, let me just mark this as well. So 10, 20, 30 and 40, and here also 10, 20, 30 and 40, let's say, right? All right, so now it's 40 for Tina. So if Tina is producing 40 cups, all the resources are being used to produce 40 cups and zero number of plates are being produced. If Tina is producing 40 plates, then zero number of cups are being produced. And when you join these two lines, you get the production possibility curve for Tina. So this is your PPC curve or PPF curve, one and the same thing, production possibility frontier for Tina. Similarly, you get it for Tanvi. So it's 10 cups, and it's 30 plates, right? So just join these 2 points. You get the production possibility curve for Tanvi. All right, that's the production possibility curve for Tanvi. This is how you draw a production possibility curve given this kind of matrix. Now understand the matrix. Let's understand this. That's very, very important. This kind of matrix in which they have given you the number of units of the product that they have produced is called an output table, right? This kind of a table is called an output table. So by the word output, I hope you understand it clearly that this 40 means that 40 cups are being produced given the same amount of resources given to both of them. 40 plates are being produced by Tina given the same amount of resources. So, but Tanvi produces only 10 cups and 30 plates. So if you compare these two numbers for cups, Tina has a upper hand, she is more efficient, as well as for plates, Tina has an upper hand, she is more efficient. So basically Tina has an absolute advantage in the production of both the goods. All right. Since Tina is able to produce more number of units with the same resources, so Tina is more efficient, and that is why Tina has absolute advantage in the production of both the goods. Okay, so does that mean that trade is not possible? Since Tina has an absolute advantage in both the goods, does that mean that Tina and Tanvi cannot trade? Now this is where we jump in to comparative advantage, right? This is where we say that even if a producer or a country has an absolute advantage in the production of two or more goods, even then trade is possible. Trade is possible only if they have, both the producers or both the countries, they have, only if they have different opportunity costs. That's the key word, different opportunity costs. Only if they have different opportunity costs, then even if one has an absolute advantage in the production of both the goods or more goods, even then trade is possible. And this is what the comparative advantage theory talks about. All right. So comparative advantage basically says that even if a producer has an absolute advantage in the production of both the goods or more goods, trade is possible if they have different opportunity costs. Now let's see how. Given that matrix, so what we have to calculate in order to know whether the opportunity costs are different or the same, we have to calculate opportunity cost from this table. Okay, I'll write the table again below so that it's easier for you to understand, right? and then see how do I calculate the opportunity cost. Now that's very important. You do get lots of questions on opportunity cost like this. Okay, so that's cups and that's plates, and I have Tina over here and I have Tanvi over here. Okay, that's 40 and 40, and that's 10 and 30. I'm repeating again, it's an output table giving us the number of units that are being produced with the same amount of resources. All right, okay. Now let's see how do we calculate opportunity cost. So in order to calculate opportunity cost, we have to calculate opportunity cost for both of them, for Tina and for Tanvi, and opportunity cost for both the goods. So the opportunity cost for cups for Tina would be what? It would be the amount of goods of X of Y divided by the amount of goods of X. Okay, so if I write a general form of this, opportunity cost of X would be your basically amount of your Y divided by amount of your X. So that's 40 in this case. Y is, if I assume cups to be X and I assume plates to be Y, then it's 40 divided by 40, which is one plate. So what does it mean? It means that in order to produce one cup, Tina has to sacrifice one plate. Now opportunity cost for plates for Tina would be what? It would be what? Since I am taking this to be Y, so it would be X by Y. Now here the X is the same number, so it's 40 by 40 again, and that's one cup. Or what you can do is you can just take the reciprocal of whatever your number or your answer comes out to be here. All right. So it means that in order to produce one plate, Tina has to sacrifice one cup. Now let's take a look at Tanvi. For Tanvi, the opportunity cost of cups, the opportunity cost for cups would be what? It would be Y by X. So given 30 by 10, that would be 3 plates. And opportunity cost for plates for Tanvi would be what? Just the reciprocal of this, or you can also say X by Y, that would be 10 by 30. So it would be 1 by 3 cups. Alright, so for Tanvi, if she has to produce one cup, she is sacrificing 3 plates. And if she is producing one plate, then she has to sacrifice 1/3 of the cup. Alright, the next thing that we do is basically we compare the opportunity costs. Alright, we compare the opportunity costs for both of them. So we see who has a lower opportunity cost in the production of a particular good. Let's start with cups. So for Tina, the opportunity cost for cups is 1 plate. For Tanvi, the opportunity cost for cups is 3 plates. So yes, obviously, Tina has a lower opportunity cost for the cups. So Tina would be actually producing cups. So cups is what Tina would be producing. All right. Thereby meaning that the producer or the country who has a lower opportunity cost will be more efficient in the production of that particular good and will be producing that good. All right. And if I talk in terms of it at a macro level, then basically a country who has a lower opportunity cost in the production of a good would be producing that good and exporting that good to the other country. All right. Okay, now if I look at Tanvi, so the opportunity cost for plates actually. So we see that I'll take another one. Okay, For plates, for Tina, the opportunity cost for plates is 1 cup. However, for Tanvi, the opportunity cost for plates is only 1/3 of a cup. She's sacrificing only 1/3 of a cup to produce 1 plate. So the opportunity cost for Tanvi is lower for plates. So that is why Tanvi would be producing plates. Do you understand this? That's very, very important. You should know how to calculate opportunity cost and then deduce who would be producing what good. And if it's about a country, then who would be producing and then maybe exporting that good. So a country having a lower opportunity cost in the production of a good would be exporting that good to the other country. I'm repeating that again. All right. Okay, so from here we have understood that Tina would be producing cups, right? Tina would be only producing cups and Tanvi would be only producing plates because that's where they are more efficient respectively. All right. Okay, now how do we decide the terms of trade? So basically what we are looking at is the trading price. How will we determine what's the trading price or what will be the terms of trade? One and the same thing. Trading price or terms of trade, right? At what price will they be trading with each other? So always remember the trading price will always lie between the opportunity cost for a particular good. So if I'm looking the opportunity cost for cups, the trading price will always lie between 1 plate and 3 plates. The trading price will always be between the opportunity cost of the good among the two producers or the two countries. You can take up any good you want. If you want to take the opportunity cost between cups, you can take up that. Or if you want to take an opportunity cost between plates, you can take up that. But the number should lie between these two numbers, right? Since in plates we have a fraction out here, so let's not complicate it. So I would like to go with a whole number. So I'll take the opportunity cost for cups, the trading price between this for my calculation. All right. So in this case, I would like to take, since it's the trading price should lie between 1 plate and 3 plates, so I'll take my trading price as 1 cup equals to 2 plates. Okay. All right, let me have this so that you understand. Okay. So my trading price is 1 cup equals 2 plates. Now a trading price should be such so that each of the producer is beneficial, right? Only then they will trade. If they are at a loss, they will not trade. So each of the producer should be beneficial at the trading price. Now let's see if that is the case. All right, let's see if this is beneficial to both of them or not. Okay, let's first start with Tanvi. We see that Tanvi has an opportunity cost for cups as 3 plates, right? Do you see that? Right? So Tanvi has an opportunity cost. Okay, before that, trading price 1 cup equals 2 plates, or I can also write it as 1 plate equals half cup. Right? So either of the two, I mean, it's the same thing, right? Either this or this, right? I've written both of it so that we understand that how this trading price is beneficial to both of them. Okay, let's start with Tanvi. Okay. All right. So for Tanvi, if she is producing at home, for her, the opportunity cost for cups was 3 plates. But if she is trading, since she is producing plates, if she is trading, plates for cups, then for 1 cup, she only has to sacrifice 2 plates because that's the market price. That's the trading price I've got, right? I've taken. So obviously she is beneficial. At home, she'll be sacrificing 3 plates, but if she's trading, she only has to give 2 plates for 1 cup. So yes, Tanvi is beneficial. All right. Now let's see it for Tina. Okay, since Tina would be buying plates, right? Tina is specializing in cups, right? So she would be producing cups and she would be buying plates. And the trading price, as I have written, is 1 plate equals to half cup. For her, for Tina, the opportunity cost for cups, or the opportunity cost for, yeah, okay, fine, the opportunity cost for cups was 1, right? 1 plate. Or I can also say that the opportunity cost for plate was 1 cup, right? For Tina, right? Since Tina is buying plates, if she is producing at home, she would be sacrificing for 1 plate. If she is producing plate at home, she would be sacrificing 1 cup at home at the domestic production. But if she is trading from Tanvi, then she has to sacrifice only with that trading price, then she has to sacrifice only half a cup, because 1 plate equals to half cup. That's the trading price I've taken, right? So it's beneficial for Tina as well. Since this trading price is beneficial for both of them, so trade will happen at that trading price. 1 cup equals to 2 plates, or 1 plate equals to half a cup. That's one and the same thing. But the point is that in exam, you will have to figure out the trading price. And the best way to figure out the trading price is to always take the trading price between the opportunity cost for a particular good. Since here I have taken the good as cups, the opportunity cost for cups, for Tina the opportunity cost was 1 plate, for Tanvi it was 3 plates. So I have taken a trading price between these two. All right, for the cups, opportunity cost for cups. I would have taken it for plates as well, but then it would be a fraction number, because it's 1/3 and 1. I would have, I had to, if I would have taken this, then I will have to pick up a fraction between 1 and 1/3. Right, I just wanted to avoid the complications of a fraction number. That's why I've taken for the whole numbers. Okay, but it's up to you. Whatever is convenient to you, you can actually opt for that. All right, do you get this? This is very, very important. So basically what we are, okay, so yeah, so basically what we are trying to say is that comparative advantage describes a situation in which an individual, business, or a country can produce a good or service at a lower opportunity cost than another producer or a country. Okay, so the bottom line being that a country who has, or a producer who has, a lower opportunity cost in the production of a good would be producing that good and would be exporting that good in case of countries. All right, some of the real world examples of comparative advantage being Saudi Arabia oil, New Zealand butter, Japan car, they all have comparative advantage in the production of these goods. So that is why they produce them in bulk and then export them outside. Do you understand that? Okay, so now let's see what happens after trade. So I'm assuming that this being the trading price, right? And then trade happens. So I'm assuming that, let's say, I'm assuming that Tina trades 10 cups for 20 plates. All right, so Tina trades 10 cups for 20 plates. Let's see how does this affect the production possibility curve. 10 cups for 20 plates. So remember, Tina is producing cups, Tanvi is producing plates. Let's see what happens. I'll go back to this graph. Okay, and I'll take another color so that you understand that properly. Okay, so it's 10 cups for 20 plates. Okay, I'll write somewhere here. So 10 cups for 20 plates. All right. Okay, Tina is producing cups. So basically Tina would be giving 10 cups. All right, Tina would be giving 10 cups. Since she's producing cups, she would be giving 10 cups. So from 40, she's producing all the 40 cups. She's producing no more plates. She's only producing cups, 40 cups. So, but then she's trading those 10 cups for 20 plates. So she is left with only 30 cups, right? 10 cups she has given, but now she gets 20 plates. She gets 20 plates for that. So this becomes the point of consumption for Tina now. All right. And then Tanvi is actually producing plates. So Tanvi is giving 20 plates. So 30 is what she's producing in all. Again, for Tanvi, she's only producing plates. She is not producing cups at all, right? Because they're trading. So Tanvi is only producing plates. So 30 she's producing, but then she's giving 20 plates. So she's left with only 10 plates with her, all right? But then she's also getting 10 cups. So 10 cups is what she is getting. And we come to a point over here. Let it be R. So basically now what has happened with trade, that with this specialization in production, what has this resulted? This has resulted in the this has resulted for each of them going beyond their production possibility curves. That is, their consumption possibilities are going beyond their production possibilities curve. With the limited resources, they would have been on this production possibility curve. But with trade, what has happened that now they can consume beyond their production possibility curves or frontiers. So their consumption possibilities have gone up. And that's the beauty of the trade. That's what happens, or that's why the countries trade, because then they go beyond their production possibility curves. All right. Okay, their consumption possibilities basically rise. Okay. All right, so we'll do another example. I'll give you another matrix so that you understand. And they are actually, you solve it on the same lines, right? So again, it's an output table. That is, it gives you the number of units produced. Let's say country A and B, and I have two goods. One is basketball and the other is, let's say, shoes. And country A produces 8 and 6 and 4 and 4, right? So now you can see again, country A produces 8 basketballs and 6 shoes, and country B produces 4 and 4. Again, country A has an absolute advantage actually in the production of both the goods. So again, the same question, is trade possible? We'll see. It all depends upon if both of them have different opportunity costs. So let's calculate the opportunity cost for them. For the basketball, what will it be? I'll give you 2 seconds. It would be 6 by 8, right? That would be 3 by 4. And for the shoes, it would just be the reciprocal, 8 by 6. That would be 4 by 3. And for this, it would be 4 by 4, which is 1. And here also it would be 4 by 4, which is 1. Do remember how to calculate opportunity costs, right? Okay. All right, so now again, this is 0.75 and this boils down to 1.333 if I convert that into decimals. And so I again compare the opportunity cost. For basketballs, country A has a lower opportunity cost. So country A would be producing basketballs and exporting that basketball. Country A would be specializing in the production of basketballs because it has a lower opportunity costs, right? If I compare the opportunity cost for shoes, then obviously country B has a lower opportunity cost. 1.33 is higher than 1. So country B has a lower opportunity cost in the production of shoes. So country B would be producing or specializing in the production of shoes and would be exporting those shoes. Do you understand? All right. Okay. Now we come to, so this was all the output table, right? So in exam, you could get comparative advantage questions based on the output table. Or, sorry, you could also get comparative advantage based on what we call as input table. Input table basically gives you that how many worker hours are put in the production of 1 unit of a good. All right, 1 unit of a good. So input table, how many worker hours are put in the production of 1 unit of a good. Okay, again I'll give you an example so that you understand it better. Suppose I have country A, country B, and I have here toy cars, and I have bells over here. I've given you 2 and 1, and I have given you 4 and 3. Obviously, it would be mentioned in the question whether these numbers represent worker hours or they represent units of goods produced, right? This is the number of worker hours. So basically, I'm saying that country A uses 2 hours of workers in order to produce 1 unit of toy car. Right, and country B uses 4 hours of workers in order to produce 1 unit of toy car. So obviously I can say that country A is more efficient because it uses less number of worker hours. Same way for belts, country A uses only 1 hour to produce 1 unit of belt. However, country B uses 3 hours. Since country A uses less number of hours, so obviously country A is more efficient in the production of belts as well. All right. Again, the same question. So country A has an absolute advantage in the production of both the goods. But then, is trade possible? Again, we will calculate the opportunity cost. So in comparative advantage, remember everything is based on your opportunity costs. All right. But there's a twist. So in this, when you have been given the worker hours, how will you calculate the opportunity cost? In this case, if I have to calculate an opportunity cost for good X, if they have given me the worker hours, right? So just remember, it would be your time for producing 1 unit of good X divided by time for producing 1 unit of good Y. All right. So if I am taking the opportunity cost for toy cars, then it would be time taken to produce 1 unit of toy car, which is 2, and divided by time taken to produce 1 unit of belt, which is 1. So it comes out to be 2 belts. If I am taking the opportunity cost for belts, it would be time taken to produce 1 unit of belt. That's 1 divided by the time taken to produce 1 unit of toy car, which is half. Or you can just take the reciprocal of the first one, which is half toy car. Similarly, for B, it would be 4 by 3, which is 1.33 of belt, and it would be 3 by 4, which is 0.75 of toy car. Now you will again compare the opportunity cost and see which one has a lower opportunity cost in the production of a particular good. So it's 2 belts and 1.33 belts. So country A obviously is not that efficient in the production of toy cars. So country B would be producing toy cars. And in this, it's half or 0.5 for A and it's 0.75 for B. So country A has a lower opportunity cost in the production of belts. So country A would be producing belts. Do you understand? So please remember how to calculate opportunity cost when it's an output table or when it's an input table. Okay? All right. Now, is it like that every time trade will take place, or is there a situation in which trade might not take place? Any answers? Okay. So trade will not take place. Trade will not take place when there are not gains from trade, obviously, right? Trade is taking place only when there are gains from trade, only when both the parties are gaining, only then trade will happen. If there are no gains from trade, then trade will not happen. And when do you think that no, there are no gains from trade? There will be no gains from trade when both the countries or both the producers, they have same what? Same what? Yeah, you're right. Same opportunity costs. Then obviously trade will not take place. So I'll give you an example where you might come across where they have same opportunity costs. So I have apples over here. It all depends upon what matrix you get, right? And I have country A, I have country B out here. I have 3 and I have 2, I have 6 and I have 4. So country A produces 3 apples and 6 bananas. And here you do calculate the opportunity cost, right? So for country, sorry, not like this actually. So let it be like this. Okay. Okay, so for country A, opportunity cost for apples would be what? It would be 6 by 3, 6 by 3 bananas, right? And for bananas, it would be 3 by 6, which would be half apples, right? Similarly, for country B, what would be the opportunity cost? For apples, it would be 4 by 2, which is again 2 bananas, and it would be 2 by 4, which is again half apples. Since they have same opportunity cost in the production of both the goods, right? So that's why trade will not take place, right? I mean, there aren't any gains from trade. So the two countries will not trade with each other, right? So bottom line being that if they have the same opportunity cost, then they will not trade. All right. Okay, with this, I finish 1.4, that's comparative advantage and trade. But before I go, yes, I do remember I have to give you 5 MCQs on comparative advantage and trade. And here they are. Okay, let me go down. And let me go to my, that's production possibility curve. So as you can see, I have lots and lots of MCQs on each topic. Okay, so comparative advantage and trade, that's your first question. Which of the following statements is true about specialization and trade? Which of the following situations would allow agents to gain from specialization and trade with one another? Again, just to remind you, I also take classes for AP Microeconomics and Macroeconomics, and my number is 9818787071. You can contact me on this number. And I do have lots of MCQs, FRQs, and even AP tests. So it's a full package course that I take. Anyone of you who is interested, you can always contact me. The third one being using the same amount of time and resources. Kim can write either 10 articles or complete 5 worksheets, and Lee can either write 3 articles or complete 9 worksheets. If Kim and Lee specialize in trade, who should specialize in each good? All right, these are your options. That's the fourth one. Zoya can make an apple pie in 20 minutes and she can prepare a turkey in 60 minutes. Chris needs 25 minutes to make a pie but requires 100 minutes to prepare a turkey. Based on this information, who should focus on making turkey for Thanksgiving dinner? All right. Oh, I'm sorry, this is a repeated one. Let me go to the sixth one. Max and Ellie like to build apps and coach soccer. The time it takes for Max and Ellie to build apps and plan soccer drills for their team is given in the table below. So the matrix has already been given you. Now, do understand that this is the hours. All right. So they are talking about how many hours Max takes in order to build an app, one app. All right. Or for one soccer drill. All right. Okay, this is an input table. Which person has an absolute advantage in building apps and which person has an absolute advantage in planning soccer drills? That's an easy one. All right, so with this, I finish today's video and hope to see you next time. Bye-bye. Thank you so much.